My name is Hannah Gibson, and I'm a current intern with Logan River Academy, which is a treatment center, a residential treatment center stationed in Logan, Utah. So, Logan River has a program for both girls and boys, but I am an intern for the girls program, which is called Maple Rise Essence. So, Logan River is founded upon 5 core principles, which are honesty, respect, accountability, fairness, and caring. So Logan River is able to help these youth that come from their different backgrounds of difficulty. They're able to prepare for their new life because of these 5 core concepts. And we have various opportunities and types of therapy for them to be able to heal from their challenges, but also be able to adopt positive behaviors and coping skills in order to move on from Logan River and have a life without a treatment center. So some of those opportunities include adventure learning, such as rock climbing, rec therapy. We have equine therapy, where the students are able to groom the horses and help them through obstacles and be able to just connect with the animals. Family therapy, because we recognize that the family is a system that impacts the individual and not just the individual needing therapy. And we focus on how positive peer interactions can help the child through dorm group therapy, and CBT and DBT therapy help us to eradicate negative cognitive distortion patterns and defiant behaviors that they have turned to. So, let me tell you a little bit more about our students. So, our students come from backgrounds of mental health issues. We do have students on the autism spectrum as well that are very high functioning, but they do need a lot of help. They are very limbic dominant when they're on the autism spectrum, meaning that they have difficulty de-escalating when they are upset, and they have problems listening, and so you really have to maneuver that carefully when you're trying to help these students when they're escalated, because it's not super easy. So as you can see here, students have anger management issues. They have been in the foster care system and they haven't been able to be adopted. Students that suffer with anxiety, depression, and those that just also have to cope with PTSD, defiant behavior, ADHD, and also just abuse, whether it was physical abuse or emotional abuse, sexual abuse. And we've had students that also have been addicted to porn, to video games, and to inappropriate behaviors. And so we serve a lot, and our programs are formed based around these difficulties and being able to overcome them or at least work with them. So, as a dorm counselor, or residential staff is another name for this position, you're responsible to become trained in both suicide prevention, being able to manage aggressive behavior, which you learn the proper, legally appropriate way of restraining a student from hurting themselves, the property, or other students or staff. And that can be scary, but it can also be really exhilarating, being able to help that student in a very crisis situation. And of course, you need to be CPR and first aid certified, which happens on site and for free. And you need to learn how to work with students with autism in their, like I said, in the proper way to de-escalate them when they are upset. So, as a dorm counselor, you also need to be competent in teaching the youth how to adopt positive coping skills in order to go throughout their day, whether it's with negative peer interactions or with their depression, that kind of thing, how they can cope. Another thing that you need to be able to teach the youth on a daily basis is how to communicate with staff, with their parents, with therapists, and with other students. And like that goes into positive relationship navigation. And then you also need to help them, especially when they are being suicidal, make future-oriented decisions, meaning that they are looking forward and not focusing only on the present, which is what is making their decisions difficult and their behaviors unsafe. So a fun thing about the job is that we do a lot of different activities and daily tasks. So they go to the gym every day, and you need to be able to drive the students there and supervise them. You need to be able to take them to the doctor if anything happens. Like, for example, we've had strep throat go around a couple times. You need to be able to take them to the airport so they can visit their family, take them to equine therapy, and be able to supervise them when they are rock climbing, hiking, fishing, that kind of thing. Finally, paperwork is a major portion of this job, just as it is in all therapeutic intervention. So you need to be able to write professionally and competently, and there are some of the examples that you will be involved with if you work at LRA. So when I first started working here, I was confused by why the students started doing things that were inappropriate, such as like banging their head against the wall, kicking holes into the wall, or just self-harming, especially when they weren't like that before the treatment center. And I remembered from my social psychology class at BYU-Idaho that according to the social learning approach, aggression is learned by repeated exposure. So if they witness students responding to their difficulties, to their depression in a negative manner through self-harm or through hurting someone else or property, then they are more likely to adopt that behavior and they will repeat it. But if staff and students are modeling appropriate positive behaviors and healthy coping skills, and we continually teach those, especially when the student repeats their negative behaviors, then they are more likely to lose those negative behaviors and adopt the positive ones. And so that's kind of something that I recognize, that there's the good and bad side to the social learning approach. So I benefited LRA by being a staff with a bachelor's degree. Many of them are not graduated, but they are in relevant majors, such as family, consumer, and human development, or marriage and family. So I was able to remember from my degree my communication skills and parenting skills, which are actually used because you're basically parenting these 14 girls because you're with them the majority of the day. I was also able to benefit LRA by being available full-time and being adaptable to the many surprises of this job, like taking someone to the emergency room or having to do a physical restraint. And I also recognize that because this is such an emotionally taxing job, that the staff need encouragement and support, not only the students. And so I was able to help them develop those positive relationships. And again, being adaptable is so important because you are going to make mistakes in the job and you will need to be able to be humble and ready to accept that you did something wrong and that you can change it. So LRA benefited me because it helped me to see what this field of marriage and family is really going to be like, because professors always told me that it was going to be emotionally taxing, and they were right. And so you need to recognize that you will need to be stronger emotionally and mentally as well as physically, and that you need to take time to be yourself and to take time to relax because you can't draw water from an empty well. And finally, the job also helped me because they offered me a full-time job and I was able to be paid during my internship. So I recommend LRA because you have invaluable relationships here and you become super close to the students and to the staff because of all that you go through together and all that you see the changes happening in them. And you grow yourself because you've never been through so much in your life and you've never had to help so many people with so many respective challenges. But also it is such a fun job, and it's honestly super great because you get to go do these fun things with them and you get to see them change. Also on the right you can see the service animals that we have there. That's Milo. He's super cute and he makes everyone happy. And then there are two students' feet next to my feet, and obviously I take pictures of their faces, but they're wonderful. So expect that you are going to have a difficult time with this job, but that it's going to be super rewarding and make you grow so much. So if you're interested and you think that you are capable of handling the challenges with this job, but also ready for the excitement and the fun, please contact Jordan Jollinger, who is the Assistant Program Director and the Residential Coordinator, at maplerise.essence@gmail.com with your resume, and she will set up an interview with you because we are hiring and we are looking for interns. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and I hope that you are interested in working with Logan River Academy. Thank you.